Okay, we've got a toilet that's always running, which normally means that gray piece down there, that flapper, normally that is bent out of shape. So we're just going to jump into this one. Like I said, we got a toilet that's always running, and normally that is a wear part that you can get a replacement for at almost any hardware store. So let's get to it. Well, normally you would turn the water off to the toilet before you start doing anything, and I tried to turn the water off, but this really did not want to budge at all. And because I don't want to damage it or tear this up, I'm just going to leave the water on. I can deal with it running a little bit while I work on this. Well, we'll start by flushing the toilet, which is going to make that black ball go down, and that's going to start the water running. And I'm going to have to find something to prop that black ball up so that way the water stops running. Because we're going to have to take a part off of this toilet and drive to the hardware store and come back. And I would prefer for the toilet not to be trying to fill back up with water the whole time I'm gone. Well, hello, I am Ben, and this is the DIY Homefront. Thanks for checking out my channel, and if you're returning, it's nice to have you back. Well, alright, I am at a friend's house trying to do a favor, and I'm sorry I don't have all my camera equipment, and I don't have the best setup, and I'm working by myself. So we're just going to have to muddle through this like you would have to do it at your house if you were doing it by yourself. And hopefully without being cut by the butcher knife I'm trying to hold that float up with. So this is what covers up the hole in the bottom, and over time it gets hard. But do you see in the front? Do you see how it's got a little lip right here? That's where the water's coming in. The float is always pulling right there, and over time it deforms it. So what you have to do is you have to replace this with a new one that doesn't have that shape in it. Now, over time it gets hard too. Originally they're pretty stretchy. You need to be really careful about pulling these pieces over the plastic tabs inside the toilet, because if you break those plastic tabs off, you're going to cause yourself more problems. Or what I really should say is you're going to be stuck replacing the entire guts of the toilet because it comes as an assembly. And there is the plastic tab I'm talking about. Well, here we are at the hardware store in the plumbing department. And the reason why we're going to bring this with us is because there's multiple styles and they all look the same when you're at the store. But if you've got one in your hand, you can hold it up to these ones that are on the shelf, and you can make sure you get the right size to fit your toilet. And take your time and double check and make sure you get the right one. And I know from experience, when you get home from the store, you'll be surprised how there's just that little difference and it doesn't work quite right. Well, out of all of these ones that are on the shelves, this is the one that matches it most closely. The only thing that's different is the shape of that bulb on it. Looks like that will be a replacement. But everything else, especially the pins where it connects to those tabs, they are the same, and that's crucial. And the other thing to pay attention to is just because it says universal on something doesn't mean it's universal. All right, let's install this new one. So the little plastic tabs just slide off. But I would recommend using two hands when you do this. Let me set the camera down. Now we're going to be reusing these parts, so try not to be too aggressive or to break anything. But the float is there, so that way once you pull the handle on the toilet, the float will lift that flapper up and suspend it in the air while the water drains. And this is where the design flaw is. The float has enough lift to hold the flapper up in the air, but once the flapper is closed and the toilet's full of water, it doesn't have enough lift to lift the flapper up off of that drain and allow the water to rush in and flush the toilet. But the whole time it's sitting there, it's gently tugging on that rubber flapper. And as the weeks, months, and years go by, eventually it ends up deforming the shape of that flapper and ends up creating a little avenue for the water to trickle down, and that's what causes the toilet to keep running. Okay, that's on there. Well, I've already got the flapper attached on one side with the tab, and here's the other side. And you can see how much more flexible that rubber is than the one we took off. Now the other end of the chain ends up being attached to the handle, and you might have to adjust it 2 or 3 times. Let the toilet fill all the way up with water, pull the handle to flush the toilet, and see if the chain is tight enough that it lifts that float and flapper up and it actually flushes properly. Now when I took the flapper off of the toilet, I had to disconnect the chain, but I didn't show that because I'm by myself with one hand and a camera in the other. Something else that can cause toilets to run, if the float lets the water up so high, like on this one, it probably should be a little bit lower. I'm going to go get a screwdriver and screw that because it looks like it's to the point where the water is about to trickle over the top. So I'll explain to you the other reason why a toilet might run. Think of this yellow thing as like a door, and it can be open, shut, or it can be cracked, and let the either warm air in during the summer or the cool air in during the winter. So the ball float lifts up and down, and for lack of better words, it shuts the door. And the screw that's on the top of it, that adjusts actually when the ball going up and down that float actually pushes on that valve enough to shut it all the way off. So if the water keeps running after you flush the toilet, adjust that screw. And it really doesn't make a difference. If you adjust it one way and more water goes down, adjust it the other direction. Just adjust it and eventually you'll figure out which way to turn it, so that way the water level in the tank lowers below that pipe and no water runs down into it. And you might need to even flush the toilet so that way the ball resets to make sure you got it right. It looks like I'm going to need to adjust the length of this chain too. Most toilet tanks are designed to have a certain amount of water in them when you flush it. This is a 1.6 gallon tank. And there's actually a line on the back of the ceramic tank that shows where the water level should be for 1.6 gallons. Well, it took me a few minutes in both hands, but I got the chain adjusted on the flapper and the water level adjusted right. And now you can see how it works when you flush it. The float lifts the flap up, the water rushes down, it gets to a certain point, and the flapper ends up closing, and then the water pressure keeps it from coming open again when the toilet fills up. Well, you're normally going to spend about $100 just to have an electrician, a plumber, somebody to show up at your house to look at stuff, let alone fix it. And this part cost about $5. So that's the culprit right there. And now that we have got it replaced, the toilet's working fine, and we're done here. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, check out those playlists, and I'll see you in that next video.